Sitaram, Assalamu Alaikum, Sairam, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Untold Truths. Tonight, again, welcome Omkar. I'm really happy you're back again. Now, this is going to be episode 2, part 2 of negativity. And then if we have time, I want to lead in a little bit into karma because that's going to lead into episode 3. We talked about last week, Omkar, about negativity, what some people are experiencing, what's happening when they go into religious institutions, the bureaucracy, the red tape. Now I want to get into a little bit a lower category, and it's really increasing, is what happens with children with negativity? Child possession, I even said it last season, it's still saying the same, has went up 300 to 400%. Child possession, not being affected like within the house. I'm talking full demon possession. So when you're looking at full demon possession, Omkar, you're looking at a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, up to 17. I'm going up to 17. But the 6-year-old, the 10-year-old, I'm writing in a book because they want me to publish my book, a case we did. That 10-year-old would take 230-pound guys and throw them across the room effortlessly. Okay, the strength is ungodly strong. They have no respect for the parents because that demon wants to conquer. Now, why the demon wanted a child. A demon senses energy, okay? It wants the purest energy it can get. So if they go into an adult like us, are we pure? Are we innocent? No. But a child at certain ages, they are totally innocent. Number 2, their energy is pure. They're still a virgin or whatever. It's a trophy. The other trophy they look for is to take over a religious leader. That is a very big trophy for them. If they can take over a religious leader, what does that do to the people underneath that leader? It puts more fear. They thrive on fear, anxiety. And when they do that, we've had multiple cases. Even this year alone, we've done 4 religious leaders, just since January. Okay? And that's here in Trinidad. I'm not talking elsewhere. No. Okay? So then again, the question comes up, what I said last week. People say, how? How do they get in a religious leader? How do they get into a person that prays every day? They do their offering, right? When these demons are summoned from realm 3, okay, and they're summoned into this materialistic world. 1, they're on the hunt. 2, they are given explicit instructions on what needs to be done. Now, Omkar, there's people on this island that is actually dabbling in this, okay? But they didn't know, or They were trying to slough it off, that it wouldn't happen to them. There are consequences when you summons a demon and you don't fulfill your part of the bargain. It will come back on you. So all you have to do is look in the last 7 years. How many religious leaders all of a sudden died? No accident. They just die. And they blame it on a heart attack or something. But the people that knows these people knew they were dabbling on the dark side. There are consequences. Like some people, and people know this out there, they might have a spirit, and some people call it like a buck. It will work for you. It will give you wealth. You will have jobs, contracts. But what happens when you renege on your part of the bargain? Now it's coming after you or your family. So, people, if you're tempted of getting on the negative or the dark side, and you're getting the thrill out of it because, wow, you're seeing the power, you're seeing things happening, you better look 3 times and get out of it, because it's going to come back and it's going to bite you. But the child possessions, let me give you an example. If a child, now sometimes in the medical side, you hear of a child will have like an imaginary friend. Yeah. Like once in a while, they'll just act like they're playing tea and they're drinking and things like that, right? But then you have the other ones, what you have to look out for, people. If it's happening all the time, and the child secludes themselves in their room, away from the rest of the family. So let me give you an example. We got a call. We actually went to check the place. And the first thing I noticed, Omkar, there were drawings with crayons, right? And there was an image. And the same image was in each drawing. And the mother hung them up because she wanted us to see when they came out. And the kid was describing who he was playing with. But then the kid realized this wasn't good. By the way it was talking, the way it was trying to tell him, do this, don't do this, do this. Your daddy, your mommy isn't telling the truth. It was trying to turn him against the parents. Now, when we went, I was watching down the hallway through the door. And the boy sat in the room and he had a ball. And like a soccer ball. Not quite like a soccer ball. But he rolled it. Now the bed was against the wall in a corner. Right? Nothing under the bed. The kid rolled the ball underneath. Now, logically, think about it. How long would it take if the ball went in, hit the wall, and it probably wouldn't come straight? It might come a little off to the side or this way.
Yeah.
But how long? About a few seconds?
Yeah, a couple seconds. Yeah.
Well, that ball didn't come out for 20, 30 seconds. Then the ball came rolling at him with some speed, straight directly at him.
Yeah.
So what's under the bed? It wasn't a person.
Yeah.
Okay, then I heard the boy say, and he yelled at him, "You are not my friend." So the kid did realize whatever it was wasn't good. Okay? At the beginning, it was acting like a friend.
Yeah.
To play with, to be with. Okay? What they do, they earn the trust of the child. Then they will start getting in the child. That's what you don't want. Thank God the mother got with us and we stopped it before that. But then we've had a lot of a 6-year-old from the East. We've had 10-year-olds, 3 10-year-olds. The oldest one was 16, not 17. Okay? So, when they're possessed, Omkar, like I said before, their strength is ungodly. They don't want to have nothing to do. They don't want to hear anybody praying in the house.
Yeah.
They will go ballistic. All right? So, Omkar, is this normal? Think about it. Like I said, when my guru trained me, way back 27 years ago, 30 years ago, there was hardly any. There was hardly any. So what has changed family-wise from then to now?
I don't know, sure, I'm not getting licks.
They're not getting licks?
Yeah. No, I really...
No, but think about it.
Well, I mean, parents less strict now. I don't know what, in terms of why it would have a difference. Like, now people would say when the children start to act up that, well, they're not getting disciplined or the parent not staying with them or something like that. So I don't know if that related to...
But nowadays, can they really discipline their child? Or they would be reported? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. But
now, I'm not saying beat your child.
No.
I'm not saying that.
What I wonder is that if some sort of mental fortitude was there in the older generation as a child compared to now.
So, just look at your childhood. Your childhood was different than when I grew up.
Yeah.
Mine was very strict. Okay? But we didn't have the social media. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have none of that.
Yeah.
Okay? It was more work, school, home.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't think also, do families eat together at a table? No.
No.
Where are they? Off in the room, all over, right?
Yeah.
So, do parents really observe their children? Or do they let their children do what they want so it's quiet? And they're not really seeing what's going on. And this is where you're being observant with your child, talking with your child, doing things with your child is important. Because you can see the difference in behavior.
Yeah.
If they're always on their iPad or their phone or TV or Netflix, okay, you're not really seeing a difference in the behavior pattern. Now, a lot of parents right now they're coming to us saying, hey, my child's becoming, we can't control them. Okay, now, there are different reasons for that.
Yeah.
That could be peer pressure, that could be friends, that could be the environment at school or whatever. But then there's other ones where their behavior is 360 degrees. Total circle the wrong way, and now you have to start looking. Okay? And you have to observe, what is the pattern? What's the behavior pattern? What's different? Then, once you go and check the child, do you know they don't even want you in the house? They don't even want to be around you. Why? That spirit's inside of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I had one the other day when I walked in. It took charge. Pushed the mother and grandmother out of the way. And that female, that girl, she was 13. She looked at me and she said, get out. And her voice was very low and strong. You cannot be here. Well, the first thing I told her, you can't tell me what to do. Why? You're not the owner of the house.
Yeah.
I have to go by who owns the property and who's in the house. You're not authorized to tell me that. You have to know how to talk back. Okay? Everybody knows you can't do a puja without asking at the beginning, who's the owner of the house, the property? Do you understand what we're doing today? Are we authorized to conduct this today? This is the way the old timers used to do it. It's not being done no more. There are rules you have to follow. Even when it comes to demonic beings, you have to follow the same rules. So the escalation of the 6-year-old, they were in the hospital and she was having fits. That's what the doctors classed it as, fits. Well, we were contacted in April, but she was admitted in the hospital in February and having fits. And in the hospital, pediatrics, they have like little, what do you call them? Curtains between
dividers,
child,
yeah.
And there might be 6 in the room, right? And she kept going. It got so bad, they had to inject her to try to knock her out. Omkar, if you inject somebody, even with 3 cc's of morphine, they're going to knock out. 5 minutes. That girl was back up. Right? And so they kept calling it fits. Right? So other doctors knew of me, so they called me and said, this isn't right. We're not finding anything wrong in the scans or anything with this child. Can you come and check? I said, okay. When I checked, she had 3 major demons inside of she. Okay? And so we had on the compound, we cleared a room, we pulled out 2. I couldn't take the 3rd one out, too big. That would put everybody else in jeopardy, right? So we signed her out, but first, before we did, I told them, observe her for 4 days. You'll see the fits drop by 80%. If I'm right, sign her out, let her do what we have, we'll bring her back in, you evaluate her, and then we're done. And when we did, the fits did drop, and we took her out, did what we had to do, and that was, believe it or not, that's one of the hardest ones I've ever done. A 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And then we brought her back, clear bill of health. So when you see these symptoms, and I'm not against the medical profession, we need them. But I'm a firm believer that you need to know medicine, and you also need to have a little spiritual side to you too, if you're a doctor. You need to know that if all your tests comes back, and it comes back negative, Omkar, there has to be another cause. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Even some of the people that tried to commit suicide, they were diagnosed schizophrenic. But they weren't, because they were hearing voices, right? They weren't schizophrenic, okay? And they were being told, kill yourself. It's not worth it. Do this. But when we got rid of the spirit, the person's fine. They've been fine. Some of them own companies now. Some of them's been over a long period of time. But what I'm trying to tell everybody here, when you see a drastic change in behavior of anybody in the family, especially children. Now, I'm not talking spoiled, or maybe he's trying to act like some kids in the school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm talking drastic. You need to get a hold of someone, okay, and start getting evaluated, whether you want to do medical first and then go spiritually, but do not let that go further, because then terror is going to reign through that family. It's going to reign through. The parents of a 10-year-old, Central, they called. And when they called, we could hear in the background, Omkar, what was going on in that house. And he said, help, help. Do I call the police? What do I do? I said, we're coming now. When I got there, 2 big men, neighbors, came over to assist, holding down that 10-year-old. And they were sweating like pigs and exhausted. And that kid was just laughing at them. He was throwing them around like candy. So what I'm saying, Omkar, they waited too long. He said he saw before a big drastic change. The temper, the behavior, the way the child would look at his parents. Have you ever heard like the death look?
Yeah.
They call it death look. Some people down here call it evil cut eye. They'll look out of the corner and they're not blinking and they're just looking at you like, I'm going to kill you. When you start seeing these signs in your child, you need to call someone. Okay? And again, if you want our help or you want to come and talk, get evaluated, whatever, we do medical and spiritual. Call. The numbers are at the bottom of the screen. Omkar, this is becoming serious, okay? Now, when you start dealing with children, it's a whole different ballgame. You got to be super careful. You can't go in with just a church team, a temple team, or whatever. You got to go in with a doctor there. You got to go in with the police there. You understand what I mean? You make sure all bases are covered when you're dealing with that child. An adult is a little different, all right? But a child, and there are policemen, there are psychiatrists, doctors that are willing, once you call them, they'll say, hey, we could do it on this day. We set it. They're willing to go because they know these things exist. Okay? But again, why does it have to be untold? Why does it have to be off the books that they're coming? They're afraid that their other colleagues in their establishments would ridicule them if they do. Again, aren't we supposed to help a child, a person, or whatever, regardless of worrying what colleagues and people would think? You know, this is why I was doing these programs, because the awareness has to go out there. Again, people, I don't want you to get paranoid. That's not what I'm trying to do. A child may have problems at school. They may have problems with something, and they might act up. That's different. I'm talking a drastic mood swing that is not even capable of happening in your home. This is what you're looking for. Isolation. They want to be isolated. The demon wants, or the spirit wants, that child isolated from the rest of the family so they can start getting control over that child. Okay? So, but do you have anything you want to say before we kind of slow down on this?
Well, I don't really have anything to add because I don't really know much examples or heard anything much about it. I mean, I could imagine some children seeing them throw tantrums, but not to the level or the extent you're talking about.
Well, you just brought up a good point. Do you know once a child gets over 9 years old, they start to fade to where they can't see them?
Okay.
if you have a 3-year-old, 2-year-old up to that age, they can see these things.
Right.
And then it starts to fade to where they can't see it. And if your child is saying to the parent, I see this, or this is happening, at least listen to them.
Yeah.
Don't dismiss it right away. Again, they might have an imaginary friend, but every kid does to a certain extent, but not all the time. And you're not going to be rolling a ball, getting the ball back from it.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if you hear a kid many times a day having a full conversation alone in the room, you need to question it.
Yeah. Well, I have a funny story. Not the kid having a conversation, but I know this lady. She has an attic, and she heard something being dragged in the attic. So then her grandson came one day and was in the attic and he saw a little boy standing in the corner in the attic, but he don't know about the dragon story because he don't live there.
Oh, he don't live there.
Yeah. So she heard a dragon noise in the attic, but then when he came to visit his grandmother,
He saw it.
he said it has a boy standing in the corner.
So, do you know maybe the approximate age?
I think he was like 3, 4.
This is what I'm telling you. They can see.
Yeah.
Pets can see spirits.
Yeah.
Okay, like the one that I did last week. When we went to get one on this side, it ran around. Now, the pit bull was fine. The animals know what you're doing. But there were two. When I went for this one ran around the backside of that pit bull. Do you know that pit bull was barking and raising Cain when that thing went around there?
Yeah.
We weren't there yet. Animals can see them,
Yeah.
right? So now a dog will bark if people walk by or things or noise. But if you have a dog barking constantly, there's a spirit, something around that property. Okay? You got to watch and listen to your pets. Okay? The dog will bark differently than if a stranger is there. Okay? Parrots. We've experienced it with all the animals. They can see. But a child, like you just said, is true.
Yeah. But in a situation like that, I think the same child, after a couple of years, he said he don't see it anymore. But that doesn't mean that the spirit left.
No, like I said, there's a transition when you get at a certain age to where you don't sense these things, or unless he's gifted, and it stays that way. Some people, the old timers, used to say they were born with a veil.
I was not going to say that. I have a friend who said he was born with a veil.
Right. So they can see. So if you talk to your friend, or if you already have, he'll say he sees them everywhere.
Yeah.
True?
Yeah.
This is what I was saying last week. Okay, they are everywhere. You could be in your car listening to your music, driving down the road, and there could be one in your back seat.
Yeah, you have a story like that.
And right, exactly. This is what I'm trying to say. So they are everywhere. Now, whether they bother you or not is another story. Again, each one is looking for something different, something that they're looking for to be attached to you.
Yeah, they have this superstition that smoking keeps them away. Like if you light a cigarette, they'll leave. Like there's my friend.
It depends on the type of demon.
Right.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, he says that's why he smokes because a lot of them leave when he lights a cigarette.
They don't like cigarettes.
Okay.
They don't like cigars. They love incense. So I don't know why people say, oh, I smoke out my house with incense.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, you're spreading perfume for these things.
Yeah.
But people are doing what they hear to try to keep things away. Sometimes they're smoking out with low band, they're doing blue soap, they're washing with lime. Some people put salt all around their room. When it comes to certain type of demonic beings, that don't faze them. Okay, even having a crucifix or religious things around the room. Certain types, I know of up to 200 different types. Omkar, I probably haven't even scratched the surface. If we have in Hinduism over 30 million deities, how many spirits do you think we might have? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
What we run into is what we know of.
Right.
Now, I mentioned to my wife last night, it's getting harder. It's getting harder to deal with these things. Why? Not strength-wise, not knowledge-wise. Do you know how a virus, when a virus starts, you have the original virus. And then after the virus is out a while and it gets to the person or it gets into an environment, the virus adapts.
Yeah.
It starts to change.
Mutate to say.
Right. It mutates into another version of it.
Yeah.
Do you know these spirits are starting to do this now?
Okay.
So it's getting harder to pick it up. Once you pick it up and you know you have that one, the energy of that one, then when you go maybe 2 months later, you're running into something, you slightly pick it up, but you got to go deeper. Why? It's mutated. And these things it's starting to happen. So if people are going out there and they're trying to do it one way, the only one way, and they're not looking at all the different options, all the different energy frequencies, you're going to miss them. And when you miss them, now that family is going to continue having the same problem, whether you did the cleaning or not. Okay? The next thing people don't understand, when you check a home, the bigger ones you pick up quick. The smaller ones will be behind the big ones. So when you're checking the house, you may count this, this, this. But in reality, you might have over double that amount. They're hiding behind the energy of this one. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it may sound like an easy thing to do in theory, but it's not, because you got to constantly be double checking, look behind your back when you're taking these things out. Why? They are moving. They move. They try to trick you. They're very cunning. So, people, if you are experiencing anything like what we're talking about during this program and last week's program, please contact your spiritual leader or call the numbers at the bottom of your screen. We will work with your spiritual leader, no matter what religion it is. We deal with everybody now. So, Omkar, do you want to add anything else before we kind of move into karma a little bit?
I was just wondering about the one where you mentioned the girl had three demons inside her. Three negative energies. Is there a particular reason more than one will guard in one individual to get like the fit son or cause a bad situation like that?
There's not a specific reason. These were sent.
Okay.
To take down that woman's daughter. They weren't successful in getting the mother. She was getting hit. She was very ill. But the best way, if they can't get you down, they're going to go to a loved one. And the little girl, 6-year-old, she actually got hit with 3 of them. let's speak about that too. A lot of times a person will come in and they were what you call spiritually hit. Okay? Let me get in a couple cases. One case, they worked for a big company in the north. They had a driver, and they're supposed to deliver things to another big company in Trinidad. When they went around the runabout, the driver's driving. The female is talking in the car, talking to him. They got the music on. And they're talking about, what they're going to do when they get there. All of a sudden, she got hit so hard, Omkar, she hit the floorboard of the car. He had to stop the car. She was unconscious. And when they stopped, he got her back up. He tapped her on the face. She woke up. From that day, she was totally different. And she was possessed. She got hit. That's what you call a spiritual blow.
Yeah.
Okay? The tabish, the guards. Mm-hmm. Okay? We do them. I do them for religious leaders, everybody. I've got some coming in here. The person's sleeping. And do you know it looked like a hammer hit it on concrete?
Okay.
Why they were asleep. Another one came in. It was charred black. Like it was in fire for a long time. And it was around their neck while they were actually. So that means there was a spiritual blow common to that person while they were asleep, and that guard took the hit. Okay. Sometimes the chains break, and the guard is gone.
Yeah.
But they're still okay. So, Omkar, what on earth, if it wasn't spiritual, would cause that big dent? I'm talking like you're creasing it V to the other side. Mm-hmm. What would cause that? If you're asleep in bed, what would cause it? What would cause it to turn charcoal black while you're laying in bed?
Yeah.
As soon as they woke up, they took a picture and sent it to me WhatsApp. So.
But okay. So, our one line is, so there's somebody.
They're paid.
Yeah, so somebody
to send that demon there.
Yeah, so somebody went to somebody, pay them some money, say, I want you to do something or send something to that person, and that's the person who get paid, do something, send something, and that situation is like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you know how much is going on with that?
Yeah.
And even in Trinidad, it's rampant about sending demons, spirits, so that they can accommodate the land, get the land. Mm-hmm. All this is happening, right? These people who are doing this, they're doing both sides of the fence. Religious work and black magic work.
Yeah.
Or people call obia, right? And they're making 50 times the amount of money doing the bad work than doing the righteous work.
Yeah. I remember somebody, I can't remember, but I was telling her how they went by somebody because they thought something was happening to them. And the person said, yes, something happened to you. But what do you want me to do? You want me to send it back to the person who sent it?
Exactly.
So there's like a tit for tat going on sometimes too.
So let me ask you something. No, it's a good thing you brought that up. Many people that come to see me, they ask, can we send it back? I'll say, I don't commit karma. I don't do obia. Do you know that obia is when you will do a negative act in your work at somebody else? Or you cause harm, misery, sorrow, or pain. That's obia, right? And I say, why do you want to send it back? Let's just kill the thing. Let's just kill it. Okay, Omkar, when we do cleaning or when I do an exorcism, you don't cast it out. You kill it. And when you kill it, and when I'm done, you smell the burnt flesh inside that. The flesh of the spiritual body makes that residue smell that just makes you sick. Okay? Why would you want to cast it out? Or why would you want to send it back? Isn't that karma?
Yeah.
So why would you want to do that? I think people want revenge. But isn't revenge a sin also? I say, don't even go there. Let God deal with it later. You understand?
Yeah.
Let's just end the situation. Let's get you protected. Let's do this. And let them be. You already know who the people are. Now, it's still your duty. If you see him somewhere, you still got to say Sitaram or hello. But you don't have to stay with him. You don't have to talk to him. Keep your distance. Okay? Also, make sure people don't have personal things of yours.
Yeah.
That is the beacon. That is the GPS of them to send it to you. Energy trail. From you to them to them.
Yeah. But what do you mean by personal stuff? Because I have the same partner.
It could be jewelry. It could be anything that you have.
Yeah.
If that is taken and they use it, they can use it against you.
Well, the friend who I have with the veil, he made a joke. He said, all you have to do to send something for somebody is just jump in the air and steal their underwear from the line.
Again, something of yours.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So how many people in Trinidad still put their clothes on a clothesline?
Yeah. Or give somebody, well, in that sense, if you
or
give
you
somebody
could give a gift.
give old clothes, like if you give somebody or donate old clothes, you're supposed to burn it or something.
Exactly. Good thing you brought that up. So don't look like we're getting in karma this time. Okay?
Okay.
But, yes, things you do not donate or give out. 1, your clothes. 2, your mattress that you sleep on. Your energy is still in the clothes, whether you wash it or not. Your energy is still there. They could use that. Okay? Don't you spend a lot of time in bed sleeping? Your energy is saturated inside there. So my guru, even before he moved, we burnt the mattress. And he got rid of all of his clothes and burned them.
Yeah. And that clothes, shoes.
What you give, canned foods, you give other things, to help people.
Yeah.
Some people like to give their clothes to Goodwill. Now, we got to be fair. The probability of somebody going to do that with your clothes at a Goodwill store is low.
Yeah.
It's low. But people and I hate to say it, 9 times or 8 times out of 10, it's family that is doing it for land or whatever, and they try to take you down by doing this. That's how they spiritually tie you. They'll tie you with something that they possess of yours.
Yeah.
Okay? So, yes, people have to be, again, aware, not paranoid. I don't want people paranoid out there. But my question is, Omkar, maybe you can't answer it because you're not in that position. But why is it that religious leaders aren't at least briefing their people on this stuff? Giving them a little bit of awareness of what could happen, not to make them scared, not to make them paranoid, but if people have a little bit of knowledge, that's your first line defense when they're coming in.
What about I remember this old lady one time told me, now don't let people touch you on your back.
or your hair.
Yeah, or your hair.
Yeah.
Like, so, when people hug you and they pat you on your shoulder when they hug you, like, you're not supposed to let people touch you like
No.
that. I think that's why Hindus probably, they have like the namaste, which is they bow, but you don't touch, you don't shake hands.
But here's another thing, because I give classes on all this. If people want to come, you just call. What about your energy? What about your aura? What about all these things? So when I came to Trinidad, and I lived in Europe for 6 years, in Germany when I was in the military. Now over there, the French, when they come, they kiss you on one side, kiss you on the other side, right? I didn't like that, right? Because I'm not accustomed to that. But when I came to Trinidad, they did one better. They come up, kiss you, hug you, right? Well, do you know there are ways to protect yourself when people kiss you on the cheek or hug you? If you do not know how to protect yourself, then your aura and your energy drops to zero when you're hugged.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So, is it that Hindu society, in a way, from ancients, knew this? And that's why they greet like this? You don't go up and just hug them and kiss them. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, you can hug and kiss your child, your children, things like that. But you just don't go outside of the family and start doing that because your energy is going to drop to zero. Okay, when your energy drops to zero, your awareness is cut to zero, your senses are cut to zero temporarily until you build that back up. So, in class, we teach how do you do business? How do you shake hands and not let their energy get to you or them be able to pull your energy? Do you know a lot of people out here, they pull your energy? They actually, I call them energy vampires. They thrive off of people's energy. So after you talk with the individual or whatever, when you get back in the car and you start to go home, you're like, God, I'm tired. I'm drained.
Okay.
Well, they just pulled from you. You got to know how to sense it if somebody's trying to pull from you. So, do you see the whole...
But is that something people do naturally, or is it something like people, they do...
Some people do it intentional. Okay? Because they want that energy. They want to be hyped.
Right.
They want that rush. Okay? There's been people so addicted to it, Omkar. They started pulling from lights. Now, when they did that, they started getting sick. Why? It's not pure energy. It's manufactured energy.
Okay.
And you'll start getting sick. So we've helped people with that. I'm not saying there's a lot of them watching, but there are some people out here that know exactly what I'm talking about. You got people that will suck your energy, pull your energy. That's why when you're seeking spiritual advice, watch who you're going to if you're gifted. Do you know there are some people that will try to pull your gift from you? And so it becomes their gift. Yeah. So you have to be aware of all these different factors when you're out here seeking help. Okay? But have you seen all the little subjects we've talked about, which deals with negativity?
Yeah.
Tonight?
Yeah.
And we can keep going on and on and on and on. Look at the rituals that's being done right here in Trinidad. Even in the Christian cemeteries, people are going out there at midnight. They have the women get naked. They're staking them on top of the grave. And they're doing rituals right there on top of the grave. This is happening. It happens in the cremation sites. So, all these things. Now, why? Why do you think they have to go to that extreme? Is it for power? Is that what they're trying to obtain? You got to look at it. Why do people go to the negative? Isn't it power?
Well, I think they're looking at the results. Because from what I know, no, not know from personal experience, but just from, from being around people from
Right.
over the years, the negative seems to give what we call negative, well, black magic, not negative.
It gives you quicker results,
You get quicker results.
but there's a price to pay.
Yeah. A lot of people not aware of the price beforehand, but the price is heavy. And some people know the price beforehand, and that's the ones who have to maintain, like you're obligated to maintain it because you don't want to pay if you stop.
Correct.
So it comes just like a credit card or a high interest loan. If you don't pay the loan on time,
Yeah.
the penalty is steep.
Exactly.
So, but well, if you have black magic, let's say the white side of it, if you want to say white, that the results seem to take longer to come by. So I think that's the appeal of the black magic.
So,
It's like, as an example, if you have a bad neighbor and you're praying to God to help with your situation, and
but nothing's happening.
nothing happening, but you go by Obia man, and in 2 weeks' time the neighbor fall dead from a heart attack. The black magic results was quicker.
But what would be the consequence?
Yeah.
They're not looking at that.
Yeah.
And some people, they test it. So they do bad. They're waiting a week. They don't feel nothing. They say, okay, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to do it again. Karma or consequences may not be immediate.
Oh, you mean the negative results to the person who
Correct.
did it? Yeah, okay.
And they don't feel nothing, so they say, let me do it again. Let me do it again. Let me go stronger. Let me go harder. Let me go even deeper. They are doing the negative, gives you rope. So you do it, you don't feel nothing. They give you a little more rope. They do it again, they give it a little more rope. And then if you don't abide or take care of who or what you're dealing with, they're going to hang you with that rope. I want people to understand that. Don't get into this, people. It is not worth it. The price you could pay or your family could pay, it could be dramatic. It could be really bad. Okay? The Omkar, we have to look at things logically, systematically, and we got to say, so when we started the discussion last week and tonight, is that why it's been the atmosphere and the ground here is heavy compared to other places? Could that be one of the reasons?
Yeah, it could be one, yeah.
We're resorting to all these different things to acquire, to get more wealthy. But at the same time, we're hurting ourselves with the energy that we're living in every day.
Yeah.
We're running into it.
I think a lot of people, they don't, it's just like, with fast food, as an example, right? Fast food tastes good, but if you consume it too long,
It does some harm to the body.
yeah, a lot of harm, right? But people don't think about the harm because they think about it as a natural part of aging.
It's quicker,
Yeah,
easier.
yeah. So I think it's the same thing. The fast results of black magic is that you see the results immediately, and if in 20 years you die or your children die, or they think about it as part of life, I think.
True. But let's look at another angle. And we mentioned it before on our show, and I've done it with the pundit. Why are we still doing prayers when there's a negativity on the property? Why? You cannot do prayers. You cannot do offering. You cannot do howling, right? Because your prayers are not reaching up those negatives are taking it as you're making the offering. And you are actually making them stronger. You know, this is happening. Two of the families that I talked about last week, that came that week, they said the pundit came to do prayers to get rid of the the negative. That's impossible. Even the pundit that's on with me, Pundit Parasaram, he confirmed that. You cannot offer a prayers or do a prayers to get rid of the negativity because you're feeding them.
Yeah. But how does that work exactly?
What do you mean?
Like, even though it's a prayer and the offering, that let's say if in layman's terms, like you're saying, is to Lord Vishnu or to Mother Durga, and how is it that the negativity could take that it was meant for a deity then?
Because that grounds, that environment is negative.
Right.
Right? So what you are giving, how are you going to do an invocation in a negative environment? How are you going to do it? Half them don't even know how to seal the area properly.
Right.
Prayers. Even if you seal the area, right? Whatever is in control of that area at that time is going to accept it. Now,
but
it doesn't mean that Vishnu or whoever you're doing the puja for doesn't see you do the offering. They will see you do the offering, but they know they cannot receive it because the negativity is doing it. Okay. So then some people say, well then why doesn't God take care of the situation? Mm-hmm. But he does. It may not be me, but they may guide you. They'll give you a sign who to go to. Or somebody all of a sudden will come to you and say, oh, you need to go talk to this person. Yeah. He guides you where you need to go to get your help. Yeah. But do not give. I tell people, you could do jap, because that's internally. You could do it yourself. You could offer a light and a flower. Yeah. But don't offer like gel. Don't offer full puja, all the items. You're giving it to the negativity. Yeah. And do you know still today, Omkar, even though we've done these shows for 3 years, they're still doing it. Why? This is what even the pundits that's coming getting trained, they can't even understand why the rest of the pundits don't come and learn, because they are making the situation worse. Mm-hmm. They're making it harder for us because the negative energies are getting stronger. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? They're not advising.
One then, it kind of leads into the answer to the question I just posed. Why negative energies and the demons take a more proactive approach when it comes to people, but God takes a more relaxed approach? Okay.
So let me ask you something.
Like a demon will possess a person, but why God will jump in and, or a deity will jump in and do that? Now, the reason I ask it is because the people...
So what you're saying, God doesn't say, this is your line. You cross that, I'm going to deal with you.
Because the people thinking might be, if I do our prayers, God will jump in and sort of...
It don't work that way. God will send you to somebody that knows how to take it out. God doesn't interfere in free will of choice. Okay. He can't. He can't. But he can guide you. He can give you signs to go where you need to go. Right. Okay?
But why did
just as simple. Why didn't, in Hinduism, why didn't Lord Shiva, he could have stopped Sati to go to that last fire prayers that Dakshin was doing. Yeah. He didn't. He warned her. Right. But he did not stop her. Right? He cannot enter in and prevent your free will of choice. Okay? That's karma.
Yeah.
Okay? He didn't want it to happen. He kept saying, come back. He's just telling her, telepathy. But everything kept going on. And he knew what the end result was going to be. Okay? The same thing. God can't interfere in our choices. He can give you signs. He can give you intuition. But do we listen to it? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
He made a perfect system when he designed karma. But anyhow, Omkar, and I'm sorry people, but we just wanted this information to get out. Next week we will be talking into karma, then we're going into fast action and other religions when it deals with karma, and what are the 10 commandments of 3 religions and how does it compare to Hinduism coming up. But Omkar, thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure. And everybody out there, I want to thank Sankhya TV for airing this program. And people, if you have any of the things that we've been talking about tonight, even if you have a veil and you want it to cut down, you cannot eliminate a veil. Omkar, always remember that. You cannot take away 100% what God gave you, but you can lessen it. Okay, we're allowed to do that. Give us a call. All the numbers at the bottom of the screen. Every week I'm going to say, if you have a topic that you would like for us to talk about, please let us know. Call in, write, and please do something good for someone. Help humanity. And always try to be a good person. Anyhow, see you tomorrow.